Well guys, this year I will actually be at Lucca Comics showing off one of my builds. Now this is the build that was at Lucca Comics 2023, and hopefully some of you guys have been there and have seen it. I have done a pretty extensive coverage of the whole thing on my Instagram, so go check it out there if you want, and also follow me on YouTube. And now this build is a very cool project because we not only did a custom loop one-piece team build, but we did it on a very strict budget. So everybody can go out and just buy all new EK, Bitsky products and just build a full custom loop, and then just spray paint some pieces and do like a team build for an anime or for a cartoon or for a TV series. But what we did is we basically went ahead and bought all the used components, we reused an old loop, and we did the whole build for cheap. We painted the PC ourselves, actually my girl did it, and then we basically made some stickers for like 15 bucks, printed them, and managed to make the whole mod on a budget. So let me walk you through the whole thing from start to finish with benchmarks and with the whole performance included. Now the base of this build was basically an old custom looped build that we bought, and it featured an i7-7700K deleted and a GTX 1080 Ti in the Matrix Platinum Edition. It's a very unique card. It's a hybrid cooled ASUS cards. ASUS had stopped doing them for a while, but they were pretty popular back in the day. Basically, it's a card with a heatsink, and then under the heatsink there is a block, and it's cooled all the time via liquid, but you can also use it just with no loop, just by using the fans. Now, the PC also had a 1000 watt 80 plus Platinum Corsair PSU. This Corsair 800T full tower case, massive case. However, as soon as we got it in, the problem started. So the case arrived with a cracked side panel, so we had to do our mod by taking into account the fact that the side panel was completely cracked. So what we did is we decided to separate the window in two, and we basically modded one side, and then we did the other side in full transparent. Now the original idea was to get some stickers in and to basically put them on the side panel, but they would have to be transparent fully. However, they did not print them exactly how we wanted, so we ended up going through with a piece of paper behind the actual mod with some duct tape, and that did the job, made the build come out properly. Now let's talk about the loop itself. So the PC came with some residue, because even if you drain the loop completely after shipping the PC, the loop remaining will go in the lowest point of the loop, which should be a drain port, but in this case it unfortunately was a tube. So once we got the PC in, we basically had this blue liquid on the utmost lowest tube, which was interfering. Now we could have drained that, but it would have been very time consuming, so we decided to quite simply pour new liquid on top of it. Now we used GoChiller fluid in their Astro series for the whole build. However, we did not use one of the colors they sell, but we created our own by buying the violet and the pink color and mixed them up together to achieve this color that we wanted, because it's going to be the aura of Luffy that we featured in the build. That's the whole idea behind it. So basically I added some of one color, some of the other color, and I let the loop mix it up. The first challenge we encountered color wise is if you've had a loop running for a while, with the sunlight and with the actual discoloration caused inside by the fluid, the tubes won't be transparent. Let me explain this better. They will be fully transparent at the eye, but they will have different reflective properties once the light hits them. So what happened is, once the build was finished, the fluid was brown and it looked very bad. Don't let me say like what, because you know like what it looked, okay? Perfect. So what we had to do again was cover up the part with the reservoir, and how we fixed the actual front is by putting all the LEDs on maximum, because if you have a cold enough light source, it will look completely purple. So that was our solution. Now we had a few issues with the CMOS battery. We had to take that one out. We had to do a fresh install of Windows 11, then go into there, overclock the whole thing. It's an overclocked build. The CPU goes to 5 GHz, the GPU goes close to 1.8, close to 2 GHz, which is a lot for this custom model. And the RAM, again, it's the top of the line DDR4 for that period, which is Corsair Dominator Platinum, and it's 4x4, 16 GB of DDR4. And another really tricky part of the mod was synchronizing all the RGB, because in modern PCs it's pretty simple. You have Aura Sync or MSI Center, and you just go in there with Mystic Light and set everything up. But this is an older PC, so it had a hardware controller for the top fans, and then we had an older version of Aura Sync for the motherboard. I had to find it somewhere on the internet and tune everything up. To set the actual bottom panel to the maximum, we actually had to go into the BIOS, connect it as a fan, and put the RPM to the maximum. That would increase the light of the panel. Pretty crazy if you ask me. Then again, the CMOS battery was worn out, so I had to figure it out for a while. But in the end, we put the one-piece sticker on the bottom piece. We did some clouds drawn on a custom-made foam on the inside, and the whole Gear 5 Luffy themed build was completed in white and black. Let me know if you like the color, by the way. We were debating for a while if we wanted to do it purple or white, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out. And now, let's talk about probably what is the most interest if you've been a follower of the channel for a while, which is performance. So you're wondering, hey, okay, cool, it's cheap, it looks good, but what's the point of this build if it sucks? Well, it doesn't suck, because actually this GTX 1080 Ti, fully overclocked under a custom loop, will beat which graphic card? Well, it will actually beat the RTX 3060 in games. It goes faster, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. It's a GPU from 2016. We are now approaching 2024. It's 8 years later, and it's still running hard, so I'm really happy. We did run Firestrike at stock. I will show you the stock results. The overclocked ones went a bit crazy because we actually haven't had the time to do a full repaste. I would need to put liquid metal in the GPU to really push it out to the maximum, but still I'm happy with it. And the CPU, even under prime, it stays at 5 GHz at 60 degrees, which is crazy low for this CPU. You need just 1.375 volts to reach a full 5 GHz stability position, so I'm really happy about that one too. So with this PC, you could actually, even today, play competitive games at high refresh rate. You could actually play Apex at approaching 200 frames per second and play Warzone at over 144 Hz. Pretty crazy if you ask me again. And if you're playing like CSGO, those things, you can play them easily. Now, we did also apply the Spectre Meltdown patches. We removed them to be able to run Windows 11 with this CPU properly. But all in all, I hope this will be a statement piece, a one statement piece. Okay, bad joke. Yeah, you only see high-end custom builds. I wanted to do a budget one because the channel is about budget builds, and I hope people will like it, and I hope you guys like it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.